morning. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. And tonight we've got in yet another card tutorial. I'm just making sure that I'm up and live and running. Let me see if the volume's working. So great. Everything looks good. So if you're on tonight, make sure you give me a shout out. Let me know you're here watching and where you're watching from. As I said, I'm here in mid-Missouri, so things are cooling down. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. Yep, I'm up and live. Sorry I missed you all last Sunday. Is that right? Hey, Mary, thanks for joining. I was coming back from a retreat with our team. It was down in Georgia, so I was on the road at this time. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining. So this is actually the card I made for that retreat. So we did a shoebox swap. And I did this. Hey, Pamela, thanks for joining from Florida. Hey, Johnny, see you tomorrow night. So this is the card I did for my shoebox swap. And, ooh, I forgot I need to grab some embellishments. We'll do that in a minute. So this is a fun flap. Hey, Laura from Colorado. Hey, Amy, thanks for joining. So this is the fun flap. We are using the Amber Autumns collection. And I've done several of these flap cards, but I'm just loving them. I absolutely love this one. I love what I've done with this one. Yes, Mary, it is even prettier in person. Oh, that one, that kept doing that. So we're going to put this aside and we'll get started. So just to let you know, I do have my card lab weekly. I'm going to do a card every day this week using the Amber Autumn collection. And if you make a $50 purchase at my online store, you'll get that card kit, all 5 card kits, free of charge as a thank you from me. So if you need any information, hey, Marva, thanks for joining. Oh, I'm so glad you're catching me for the first time live. That's awesome. But if you make that $50 purchase, and that's after rewards and before shipping and taxing, that's such a mouthful that I can't hardly remember it. You'll get that card kit for free. So this is going to be available in that card kit. I've got one little sneaky peek in there, and we're going to get started. All right, so here's my pieces for my fun fold portion. Then we've got some layering up we're going to do. We've got, not really sure what I did with this. Oh, here we go. Here's our layers. So this is like a normal tarot card. It is going to be full of layers. Yes, Laura, this is a beautiful set. So fun, so versatile. You can do so much with it. So basically the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a piece of Basic Beige. This is going to be my inside liner, and I feel like with this particular designer series paper or pattern paper, you really need Basic Beige instead of white. Basic white is just a little too stark in my opinion for this, but Basic Beige is such a fantastic alternative. Hey, Sarah, thanks for joining. So many new people tonight. Thank you, guys. So we're just going to take that stamp. Oh, we may need a bit different early espresso. That needs to be re-inked. I just so happen to have an extra one sitting on my desk. All right, so we're going to try that. Take two. It wouldn't be alive if we weren't making mistakes, right? That one looks so much better. All right, so that's that Basic Beige with the sentiment stamped, and we're going to layer that up. But while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and get all of our stamping out of the way. So I have that beautiful pumpkin and gourd stamp set, or stamp, that we're going to ink up with the early espresso as well. And then we also, somewhere, here it is. Yes, Mary, Basic Beige has become my go-to as well. In the very beginning, I was so against it. I don't know why. It's crazy talk because it is gorgeous. All right, so I knew that wasn't going to go right the first time. So my stamp is a little low to be on a cling. That'll work. That's close enough. All right, so here's all of our stamping that we had to do. I'm going to bring this out. So this is our pumpkin and gourd set. And I'm going to bring Stampin' Up's watercolor pencils. So there's 2 different ones, and this is the #1 collection. So I'm going to pull out, I think this is Daffodil Delight. We're going to pull out some pumpkin pie. We're going to pull out some Calypso. I don't think we'll use Calypso Coral. Let's see here, what else? We're going to bring out the pumpkin pie. There's that. We've got some Old Olive. And that may be all that we need. We'll bring out some early espresso just in case. Yeah, I think that's good. Is that clip? Oh, real red. We might use some real red. Yeah. Let's just make things a little different this time. So we'll start out with a little real red. So this is kind of light, but it's going to work because colored pencils are a little bit lighter. Now we're going to use the magic here. So this is our Stampin' Up's blender pen. And I absolutely have fallen in love with colored pencils all over again, kind of like I did as a child. I was always I love to color. And I really enjoy making those colors blend together. Rosie, I said that very same thing the other day. We do need basic beige envelopes. Please. That would make my, So I'm coloring that greenery with a little Old Olive. And I'm just going to kind of do this kind of fast today. I'm not going to layer and layer like I normally would. And then we'll do the corn with Daffodil Delight. And if you notice, I'm just kind of coloring like loosely. I'm not doing a super detailed coloring. The cool thing about the colored pencils is you can layer it with the same color and just keep layering and layering and layering and layering and layering. You know, layer it, use your blender pen, layer, use your blender pen, layer some more. You get the drift. Now, as you see, I'm doing a little bit darker with my pumpkin pie on those dark shaded spaces. And then I'm just going to do a light scribble. And that's because the blender pen's going to make it beautiful. So just real dark, right along all of that beautiful shading that's the stamp set provides. Oh, hold on a second. Let's do our little scribbles here. So it doesn't take a whole lot, and you have a lot of color down in no time. All right. So our new November online exclusives will be available on Tuesday, which is the 4th. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of one of them. I used the beautiful patterns embossing folder. So just about every time we have an online exclusive release, I have something that is by far my favorite. And this embossing folder is my favorite. It is super duper. It's very subtle, which I love. I love embossing folders. I like the texture they can provide, but sometimes, you know, a little bit goes a long way for me. So this one is it's kind of like that 3D hatch work pattern that was in the basics embossing folders we had about a year ago. Loved that one. And this one's going to be my new fave. I can already tell you. All right. Just giving a little color to these leaves here. So yes, those will be available on Tuesday. Now we're going to give this. And I really wish we kind of had a Lost Lagoon. little color pencil because I really want to color this gourd or squash. But instead it's going to be yellow. It's going to be a little daffodil delight. So this is a yellow squash. I don't know. Is that what you call yellow squash? I know you call it green squash zucchini. Is there a fancy name for yellow squash? I don't know. I may have to look that up. I'm not really a gardener. Now, I love to eat squash. Okay. Now all that's colored. I will put this out of the way. I'm going to pull out my handy dandy mini cut and emboss. And we'll die cut this real quick. And then we'll be ready to put our card together. And you're not going to believe how fast this card goes together. It goes together lickety-split. Lickety-split. So this week has been cold here in Missouri. I don't know what the temperatures are like anywhere else. But we went, summer squash. Yes, you're right, Laura. Thank you. That's what you call it. I knew my mom didn't call it yellow squash. I've never heard it called crookneck squash. But summer squash, yes, for sure. But it is turned freezing cold. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I've got fuzzy socks on. It's awful. And my husband, being the great man that he is, has decided it's not time to turn on the air conditioner or the heater. So I guess I'll just be wearing a gazillion layers forever. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting our card together. I'm going to layer my sentiment panel to a crumb cake mat. Then I'm going to take a piece of that gorgeous autumn tulle. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. Designer Series paper. Does this, no. Why does this always happen to me? Probably because I don't pay attention. My thing is out of seal. I feel like if it's live time, it's time to run out of seal every time. One would think I would pay attention, but I don't. All right, here we go. We'll just pop this in and be ready to go back again. Except, there we go. Pop that in. Clean off the little glue boogers that get in the corner. And pray that my paper didn't stick. Okay, it didn't. Whew. All right, here we go. Now we're back at it. All right, so the Autumn Toil Designer Series paper, I'm layering that up with some crumb cake as well. Now, as I said, beautiful, here is that pattern, beautiful pattern embossing folder. Look how gorgeous that is. Can you see how gorgeous that is? Just very delicate, very dainty, perfect for providing just the right amount of texture. Okay, so all of this is ready to go on the card base. So let's get to it. So we are going to take my bone folder, and I have a 1/4 or 1/2 inch that I'm folding in. So this is our right flap. Then I take my card base and I burnish that down. So here's our card base, here's our flap. So you can use Stampin' Seal, but of course I like to use tear tape to give it just a little bit more strength and durability, because we're going to be opening and shutting and flapping and doing all the things. Okay, so here I'm going to peel that off. And so carefully, I'm placing this on the right side, and I'm making sure that it goes to the edge, but not over the edge. So I'm keeping it nice and flush. And there we go. Mary, you're a lot further south than me, and like they turned your heat on? I'm so jealous. No, I've got my giant winter comforter on the bed and everything. Okay, so now that I have this flap on here, I can go ahead and put my insides or innards into my card base. I want to make sure I have the flap on first. So this step has to be before you put this on. Okay, now that's going to fold over like this and this. Now, the next thing, very important, this is where you attach your ribbon for your little bow on the side. If you put it on, it's going to be too late and you're going to have to tear it apart. Ask me how I know that. Okay, so I'm going to cut about, I don't know, maybe 10 inches of ribbon. And I'm going to cut 2 of them. Just snip. And I'm going to glue one of them to the left side of my flap. And it's going to hang off here to the left. So see, then I'm going to close my flap and I'm going to add a little bit more seal and I'm going to add my other one and it's going to go off to the left. So, you know that song, to the left, everything in a box, you know. Anyway, you're going to put it to the left. All right. Now we're going to cover that up and make it pretty with this designer series paper. All right, here we go. So there's that. Making sure we have our nice little edges so that we have that little peekaboo. New Jersey has their heat on. Rosie everyone has their heat on but me. I'm so sad. I'm gonna have to go talk to my husband. He says it's gonna warm up this week, so there's no reason to turn it on. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I'm adding this embossed panel on here. And now I can tie my bow. And with this gold striped ribbon, it's so easy to tie a bow with this stuff. This is one of my favorite ribbons because it's so versatile and it makes pretty bows. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off a lot of this excess because I don't want all this hanging off there. There we go. So here's that pretty bow that's going to sit right there. Now I'm going to add this to the front. But before we do that, we're going to cut another piece of this gorgeous ribbon. And as I said, I do love this ribbon. And I've probably done this on camera a time or two. I'm just going to cut the edge off because I just want a gold filament right here underneath because this is what takes that card and turns it, you know, to a wow. It's one of the wow factors for this card, in my opinion. And every card has to have a wow factor. Whether it's the texture that you've added, whether it's the beautiful sentiment. Sometimes it's just the greeting that you put on the inside. I know, Rosie, I kind of wish I was a weatherman so I could be wrong at work all the time. All right, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now, the cool part is this is going to leave a nice little piece of ribbon. Now, I will tell you, you can kind of increase how you cut this because you can just kind of pull it and it just goes right along. But you've got this really beautiful inside portion of the ribbon that's very, very delicate as well. And you can make a bow out of it. And then it kind of frays a little bit, see? So, isn't that pretty? So don't throw this away. Save it. Use it for something else. But yeah, it makes a pretty little bow. Very delicate. See, look how cute that is. Don't ever throw it away. Save everything like I do. Okay, now that I have that done, I'm going to just put a little bit of seal there, and I'm going to do a little loop-de-loop, and I'm going to add that kind of like that. Okay, and that's going to leave these two filaments hanging there. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece down here and make a little loop-de-loop here, so that we'll have extra ribbon kind of just peeking out and about. All right, now I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals, because it wouldn't be a tarot card if it wasn't all dimensionalized. I don't know if that's a word either. Kind of in a creative mood today. All right, so here we go. I'm going to pop that down. Now I don't quite want all of that. I just want it to be a delicate little stick out there. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to take that sentiment and I'm just going to throw it, give it a nice jagged look. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this a little more narrow. Here we go. Nothing is ever done until it's on the card. And now, because I only have enough room to do the diagonal on one side, I'm going to go ahead and pull this over and put it on the edge. Whereas on this card, I had it just centered underneath. So this is a perfect spot for these long pieces of your dimensionals on the side. I like them for sentiments, because it keeps them right where they need to be. Here we go. And now I don't have my iridescent things, so let's pull out yet another little sneaky peek. So this is Earthly Matte Dots. So these will be available on Tuesday as well. They're with one of the suites. Don't ask me which one, because I'm not thinking about that suite right now. I'm thinking about all about Amber Autumn this week. All right, let's do a big one. Let's do a little one. And I can never get enough of pecan pie embellishments. So I'll be going through these like crazy. All right, so there's today's card. The only thing we have left is just a small 2 hours north of Florida bee. So you must be, are you warm or are you cold yet? Mary's in Georgia and she's got her heat on, so I don't know. All right, so don't forget, this card kit will be available with that $50 purchase in my online store this week. So those sales go until Friday. So anything you purchase between now and Friday, $50 over, before rewards, after rewards, before tax and shipping, you'll get that free kit from me, as well as the other 4 cards that are going to be on my blog this week. So make sure you're subscribed to my blog. Make sure you're on my Facebook and Instagram to catch the reels on each one of them. I've got some beautiful fall cards. We're thinking fall. It's fall vibes all week long here at Tarabeth Stamps. There you go. You guys have an amazing week. Thank you for spending part of your weekend here with me. I'll see you back here. Oh, Heidi, you like this? I like it on the side as well. Yeah, definitely. I'll see you back here next Sunday night. Same time, same place. You guys have an amazing week. Thanks so much.